can put my webcam on.
Oh, okay.
Jewelry?
Yes, I wear jewelry. Bracelets and stuff.
Awesome. Awesome.
So, basically, Mirror, your character is the bard, right? I am remembering this correctly. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
I'm kind of. Yep.
I was gonna give him his excuse for leaving in the middle of things.
No, I'm still here. I just
Okay.
had to. My mother's phone was going off, and she's outside, so she's not here to pick it up.
Okay. So what's gonna happen is that basically you've been hired by a rich merchant that was passing through the town to go play at his daughter's birthday party or something in Loudwater, and he's leaving in the morning. He's not exactly sure at what time, so it will be during the trial. At some point, she'll be leaving.
All right. So.
That way you can leave when you gotta leave.
All right. Well, then beforehand, I'll go up to. I'll go. Umbra, what's your character's name?
Armenos.
I'll go up to Armenos and say, "Look, man, I'm not going to be able to be here for a while. I've got other shit to do, and I really hate it. But gig's a gig, so got to take care of it. So I'll be back, but I want you to be my representative at the trial. Make sure the kid gets a fair deal, and do everything you can to help him out."
I will try my best. The young one, right?
Yes, the
They are
young one.
the same age.
I know, but
We don't care. We have to differentiate them somehow.
It is now an in-joke, Miya.
I
Good
know.
luck.
And what about the older one?
Oh, fuck him.
I like the
They're
style.
twins.
I know,
mean-
but it's just how we refer to them. It's like you said, it's an in-joke now. I feel like I can do that.
And I really should have finished breakfast before talking to you about this. Okay. Tell you what, I know Selhene is backing him, and just let her do her thing. But just make sure the kid... Just try do everything you can to make sure the kid gets a chance.
I give sort of a small bow. I will do my best.
Alright.
From beyond.
Tell you what, I'll see if I can bring back a keg for you.
Great stuff. I look forward to it.
So do I.
Ballor, you're here or not yet?
I'm
Oh, you're here. Okay. I wasn't sure. Alright, so for those who don't remember the details, last time
Everyone.
last time someone was trying to burn down the town. Well, more or less. Someone was sabotaging the efforts of the town to build defenses, and after some time you found out it was Tove Brendeman and his brother Gotthard, Gotthard, however you pronounce it, and you managed to capture them as they respectively tried to burn down the watchtower and the inn. Well, the tavern. And they told you that they were doing this because a half-orc or an orc, right? She was an orc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an orc
Yes.
had their
Yes.
mother hostage, and they escaped during the night. And turned out that actually the orc did not have their mother hostage because they killed their mother when they were kids.
At the behest of their father, who was a creep.
Yep. And they were both followers of the evil god Kelric? Cyric. So, it was something like that. And yeah, basically one of them was more in charge and the other one was a bit more seemed at least a bit more repentant.
And that's the difference between older and younger.
And there was going to be a public trial to decide what happens to them.
Yay.
Oh, and through your meddling, you managed to get Gundolin and Ragnar, the two de facto leaders of the village or small town, to stop nagging each other about everything and actually work together.
Which was really fucking cool.
Yep.
Alright. So we're going to start on the morning of the trial. And we're at the center of the village with all the townspeople gathered, which include a lot of refugees that have been coming over because neighboring farms and stuff have been attacked by orcs and goblins in the region lately. So people have been flocking towards Parnast. And that's one of the reasons why they've been building fortifications. Anyway, Gundolin and Ragnar come up to the center of the village with the two prisoners, and they present the charges, which sound rather bleak. They're charged with theft. They've been stealing supplies. They're charged with treason because they've been working with at least some of the orcs that have been attacking people around town.
Wait, are they from this town?
They are from. Originally, their father was from the town, but they've been living like a few hours away, coming to towns regularly to trade and sell some things and buy other things.
Yeah, because there was the
they're
cabin in the woods.
Not really townspeople, but still kind of a part of town.
Okay.
They are charged with murder because when they destroyed the southern watchtower, poor Donald the militiaman was under it and died. They are charged with arson attempt, and yeah, that's about it.
Fun. Okay, question, was the watchtower still under construction when they burnt it down, or was it finished?
The one that they destroyed before you guys arrived, it was under construction. But you guys found the proof that it had been meddled with by them.
Cool.
Okay.
I just want the particulars of this case.
So one account of murder, right?
Yep. Well, technically, there's also the murder of their mother, and they've kind of let it. It seemed to you like they had killed travelers in honor of their god at some points, but you don't have any concrete proof of that.
Plus they
confirmed-
ate them the better than orc.
Sorry, what did you say, Bella?
I said they also aided and abetted an orc in
Yeah.
murder.
That was the treason charge.
Yeah, that was treason charge.
Somehow I missed the treason charge.
All right.
Oh, Skype.
So anyone who wants to speak for or against the brothers may do so. I will give you a time limit because I don't
Oh,
want this to last forever. It's a time limit of 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
yeah.
Oh.
5 minutes each,
Each.
or 5 minutes for all? Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
And depending on what you say, you might have to roll a persuasion check at the end, and
Okay.
it will either lower or raise the DC of the kind of save check at the end that I'll give to each of them for being for the sentence, basically. Words are hard. All the work that you made me do.
I would have, as much time as I could beforehand, I would have talked to the younger one about like specifics on who specifically was part of what.
All right.
Like who did the planning,
do we
who
get
did the talking,
a session
who
prep
actually.
time?
Yeah, you would get
trial
you would get some time to speak with them before the trial.
Yeah.
If you want.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Like I said, I would have talked to the younger one to try to get specifics on. Okay, who was planning? Who actually was the one who sabotaged the tower? Who?
The one who sabotaged the tower was Tove, the one that you guys call the older one because he's the one with who can actually do a little bit of magic. And mostly Tove was the one doing the planning, but they both acted.
Okay.
Okay. So just Gunther.
Gunther.
So murder, treason, arson.
Attempted arson.
Attempted arson.
That's on both of them. Treason is on both of them, and theft is on both of them.
Theft. What did they steal?
Supplies.
Oh, right.
The herbs. Plants.
Plants.
To poison the horses.
Right, there's attempt to poison the horses. They also did kill one of the horses.
Can they...
So property damage.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Property damage.
Horses are property.
Would that mean that killing a slave would come under property damage rather than murder?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Sarab needs to keep that in mind.
Yep.
Yep, and when you damage property, you pay a fine. Yep. Okay. So the tower sabotage was arson, right?
No.
Or no, that was just caused to collapse.
Yeah.
Okay.
They took a crowbar to it.
They both tried to burn down, respectively, the other watchtower, but Krark stopped him, and the tavern, but you guys stopped that one.
Okay.
I think I remember at the end of the last session, I did an intimidate check on Tove.
Yes.
With telepathy.
You scared the shit out of him.
This is a different day, isn't it?
Yes.
Can I go and find him before the trial and basically say, is there anything you want to confess that might help your case? That I might be willing to help you if you own up to anything.
I don't see how confessing anything is gonna help.
Because if you confess everything, I might be able to find loopholes. That's how.
I killed people.
Why?
Sacrifice.
You're not giving me
Oh
much here, Pearl.
shit. Sacrifice to
No,
a
no,
god
no,
is
no.
like a legitimate thing in this fucking world.
No.
Goddamn.
Wait. But you can work with that. You can work with that. Indoctrination. Force
It's not
indoctrination into a
to
cult.
follow a. It's no, literally. This is that would be like saying forced indoctrination into mainstream Christianity. We're not talking Westboro Baptist here. We're talking about the Catholic Church accepting human sacrifices.
Cyric is an evil
I
god,
take
not
almost offense to
publicly
that last one.
not
Yeah,
publicly
but the point
worshipped.
stands that it's recognized as an actual religion. You might not like it; it might be evil, but it is recognized as that's an actual fucking god.
Yeah.
No, it's
Okay,
basically his. It's basically as if someone said, "I killed people as sacrifice for Satan."
Okay. But I actually work with what Mirror said there. And why is it that you're
Periodic
part of
table
this
of elements.
cult? Why are you part
Sorry.
of this
It's awesome.
Sorry, what? I didn't.
cult? Why are you part of this cult? What made you start worshipping?
My father.
He was a follower?
Yes.
And did you just follow it willingly because he was your father? Or was there a lot of...
You're talking to the older one, right?
Yes.
Okay. The older one.
Yeah, I saw
I'm doing it
You're
too
talking-
now.
To assertive asshole. There you go. You're talking to AA. Assertive asshole.
I actually forgotten everyone's names as well. Oh, it's down there. But you're not in here! God damn it! I've forgotten what Mirror's character's name was.
Sebastian.
Nathaniel.
That's right. Yeah, I saw Nathaniel go to the younger one and saw that he was taking care of it, so I went to
Okay.
take care of the one that I scared the shit
Alright.
out of.
Yep.
But yeah, asking, did he just follow his father whimsically, or was there a lot of encouragement involved?
I did what my father said. It was gonna make us strong, and up until now, it seemed to work.
It seemed to work. Or is that just the fact that you might have happened to be the strongest around until there's a bigger fish?
I don't know.
Okay. What about the case of arson? What was the motive behind those?
To disrupt the defenses of the town.
Why were you wanting to disrupt the defense of the town?
Well, we were mostly working with Kalgrota at this point. That was the orc. Her orders seemed to be to disrupt the protections, the defenses of the town. So, in exchange, we would get some of the prisoners that they've been taken to sacrifice.
Okay. So all the petty, like the thefts and the arson things, were just you serving this orc, and in return you got your human sacrifice, and that's all you cared about.
Well, at this point, they had pretty much invaded our house, so could have done without them. But yeah, basically.
Okay. Did you find any information about the orcs' plans of why they were wanting to disrupt? I can take a guess, but I just want any concrete proof.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, are you at least remorseful? Or are you going to try and accept your fate once you pass on?
I did what I had to do.
Well, let's hope that you do enjoy your own afterlife. Okay, I'll head back to my party.
Damn, man.
So, it just turned into information gathering after that. I Didn't really care much for him. I tried.
You did. Alright. Anyone wants to do anything else?
I'd like to question the younger.
Okay.
Hello, son. I have a few questions.
Alright.
You are charged with treason. Do you know the meaning of the word?
Yeah, I guess. Like, we pretended to work with the town and worked against it.
I see. You pretended to work with the town. You do not hold yourself as part of the town, then?
Not really.
Would you say that you received a warm welcome there?
In a town?
Yes.
Well, the few times I came over, people thought I was Tove. But
And how did they treat Tove? You as Tove?
normal, I guess? I don't know. How do people treat people who aren't family?
A fair question. The tower that you and your brother sabotaged. How did you sabotage it?
Well, it was... I sneaked into it and losing some support beams. I don't know how towers work. Remember me as a DM. I don't know anything about construction work, but basically he did the prep work and his brother used a crowbar and mage hand to finish loosening stuff, and it made the tower collapse in the middle of the night.
Did you see a light on in the tower when you collapsed it?
I wasn't there when it collapsed.
Just your brother?
Yeah.
All right. The supplies that were stolen, what did you do with them?
Well, the food we ate, most of it, or some of it the orcs took. The oil we were going to use to set fire to the tavern. And some things we just destroyed, things like wood, stone, we just got rid of it.
But you and your brother are prolific hunters. Why would you need the food from the town?
It's not really that we needed it, it was like to make everyone suspicious of each other's.
Hmm. And the herbs? Why steal those?
To poison the horses?
And the cause for their murder?
Again, to raise a bit of hell. Dove kind of wanted to step things up when he realized that you guys were kind of investigating everything that was happening.
And then the arson was the accumulation of that?
Yup.
But the arson, unlike the theft of supplies, would be quite easily found out. seemed rather rash.
Everything was easily found out.
Yes, but I'm saying that setting something on fire would cause an immediate alarm, whereas theft of supplies, property damage, such things might take a while to be noticed.
Well, yeah, the plan was to, since both of the targets were kind of on the outskirts, the point was to light the tavern, and when people reacted to that, light up the words. I can't words.
Guard.
Watchtower.
Guard
The
tower?
watchtower.
Tower,
That's it. Or the other way around. I can't remember. I think the point was to first light up the watchtower, and when people reacted to that, set fire to the tavern, and both of them would have time to split in the panic.
All right. I believe that is all for now. I'm going to head back to the party. Did I know that Armenos was talking to the other one? To Tove?
I don't know.
I didn't exactly make it subtle or sneak off, but
Okay. Well, I don't know if the two of them are stored like on opposite sides of the barn or something.
I was about to ask, where are they being kept?
I believe they were both being kept in the room where supplies were being stored for building supplies in the middle of the village. Let me pull up the map of Harnest.
From where they are they able to see out into the village?
No, there are no windows.
Damn it. Never mind my idea then. I was going to dismember some training dummies so they could see it.
Oh, intimidation.
Why?
I mean, I managed to scare
why
the
is
big
everything
one with
lagging?
deities.
Too much open at once?
I closed
Or-
most of the things.
The heat is probably actually affecting your computer.
Yeah, it's probably that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the
Right.
heat. Alright, it was that building. If it's... Oh, I'm on the wrong thingy. It's... Let me ping!
This one?
Damn it. It's not letting... Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Oh, computer. It is very warm.
Okay.
Try refreshing
Um,
the tab.
Try what?
Try refreshing the tab. Roll20 occasionally has a memory leak.
Oh, okay, I'll do that. Anything else you guys want to do before we actually start
yes,
the
specifically,
trial?
I wanted to go talk to Armenos.
Okay.
So I believe the best course of action would probably be loopholes. There are a few that I believe we can get out of, specifically treason. It seems as though neither the town nor the brothers actually ever officially recognized each other as belonging to the same social community, so act of war would be more appropriate. However, we can also argue our way around that, seeing as how they were under distress at the time, since they were actively invaded, I suppose, by the orcs.
I mean, it does seem to be that they were indeed actively invaded by the orcs and then forced against their will to do that, else they would lose their home.
Or their lives. Or both.
And that too.
The murder charge, even under act of war, that is not usually forgiven. However, I did not talk to the older one, but my talk to the younger one seemed to indicate that he was nowhere in the vicinity when his brother caused the destruction, so I believe we might pin that on him. However, that charge also might be worked around if they were only intending on an act of mischief, and did not know that someone was in the tower at the time.
I did not speak much about the that specific murder charge to Tove, but he basically admitted to sacrificing many individuals, including the thought of sacrificing at least some of those that we set free. I'm more than happy to have the murder charge kept onto Tove, as even my evidence that I found indicated him, because he is the one with magical prowess, and Gunther is seemingly not magically inclined at all.
Yes. That does raise consideration, though. If Gunther acted on Tove's orders, and Tove... this gets more and more tricky. If Gunther knew that there was someone in the tower when he sabotaged it, knowing that his brother intended to bring it down, that implicates him in the murder. However, if he didn't, that would still be reckless endangerment. I'm using US terms of law here because I don't know law terms set in this universe.
Is there anyone around, or is it just like us two, or maybe like just the party?
I was hoping and thinking it was just the party.
Probably just the party.
Okay. I'm inclined, since I personally didn't find any evidence of Gunther's involvement in the tower at all. I was quite thorough. I believe we can probably get away with losing evidence, since there was no evidence there in the first place. I'm basically saying I don't think we can prove that Gunther was involved, aside from his own confession.
Most of these things, if they hadn't confessed, we would have been able to demand proof of evidence. Fairly certain that the only thing that they can prove, actually, is the attempted arson and the destruction of the watchtower.
Kidnapping, considering we found many people in cages over at their house.
With orcs. Again, difficult to prove their sole involvement. We've already, between the two of us, decided that mental duress would have been enough cause for most of this.
The people want justice, though, nonetheless.
They want a scapegoat. This is not going to be justice. None of this is just.
Maybe so, but still, they're not going to be too happy with the fact of we prove a point and say, oh, neither of them are getting executed.
Well, neither of them should be executed. They should be forced to work to pay back what they broke.
I would not trust the older one. He is a bit too far gone, and also, like I said,
that's why I'm quite happy to have the death of the god on his hands.
So, I believe we just do this whole thing of have Tove executed, and we will try and have Gunther work his way through some form of a sentence.
Yes.
If that seems adequate from everyone.
I will simply say that while I'm not the most astute mind here, I trust your judgment, and I simply must add that I did not hunt them down simply to bring them back here to have them both killed right away. So I will trust your judgment on that, as long as they face the justice that they need to face.
Hey, Miya.
Yeah?
The thing that we did in oh shit, the Sundered with the goblins and the money. Is that like a regularly practiced thing in this world?
I guess?
Don't say it like that!
But keep in mind, you'll have to convince the village.
Yeah. I know. I want to know my options. I can't even remember what that thing is called.
Me neither.
It's like I know what I called it, but I was rude.
Weregild.
There
Something
you
like
go.
that.
Okay. I think that actually is it.
Okay, now my keyboard's working properly.
Yeah, that term sounds familiar.
Alright. Cool.
So everyone's okay with, unless there's another plan involved. We have Tove executed, and Gunther will do like community service for an unholy amount of time.
Are you involving
Probably the rest
Krark
of
in
us
these
not to be alive.
discussions?
Yeah, Krark will be here. I imagine unless Krark wants to be elsewhere.
Yeah, it's like I figure that all of us are kind of together talking.
Oh, and I'm like, just waiting for my time to go.
Krark.
I'm
No,
surprised that
I'm not.
Selhene is actually like agreeing with this, because she was trying to save Tove just to spite me.
No, actually, she was going to play devil's advocate, realizing that the defense of the younger could not be successful if they were charged with the same crimes and the elder was convicted.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
I thought
I'm
you were
doing
doing-
it now, Mia.
from Nathaniel's point of view, it was like, oh, she's doing it to spite me.
Oh. Yeah, sorry, Nathaniel. I mean, maybe a little bit, but no.
Hey, maybe
Krark.
maybe you actually rubbed off on her.
Selhene definitely
Well,
operates under the ends justify the means. Or the means justify the ends. Ends justify the means?
The
There you
ends
go.
justify the means.
The ends justify the means.
Krark is not agreed with you guys' plans.
Of
What would Krark want?
which is
They
Krark's
betrayed their
opinion.
people, killed their family, and they put innocent lives in danger. No,
But they hadn't.
they both go to the hells.
Wow,
that is
wow,
up to the
wow,
deities
wow,
to
wow.
decide.
Krark,
This
listen.
mortal realm, they could not be betrayed by a community that had in effect, or they could not betray a community which in effect rejected them. The fact that the father was able to twist their minds so says that the community neither cared nor cared to involve themselves in what happened in that family. Whether or not it was ever verbalized or realized, they were ostracized from this community, and therefore you cannot treason against someone that has not accepted you.
Those words you use are far too big. All that matters is they killed, they put innocents in danger, they worked with Kogrota willingly. They die.
Willingly implies they had a choice. They
They
did
were
not.
certainly happy to go along with her. Did you not see where they were when we attacked?
Yes, but they didn't fight back when we came in. They ran.
Only because we smashed all of the Orcs' defenses.
I might be inclined to agree with Krark on that last statement.
Do you
Listen.
really think they wouldn't have jumped in and attacked us too if we hadn't been so efficient at dispatching the scum?
Well,
who
we'll
both
never
had
know,
with her?
because they never did.
Also,
All
fair
right.
point.
Here, you want a fair argument? If we execute them out of hand without considering their side of the story, that is not justice, that is vengeance. They deserve, just as anyone else in this community, the chance to speak their mind with advocates for them. So we are giving them that chance.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I didn't see you caring about chances when we stuck that hobgoblin on a spear.
I thought that was me.
I think it was
Yeah.
pretty much all of you.
It was fun.
Team effort.
I think I was the only one that wasn't involved in that.
Probably.
Probably.
A lot of you helped.
I mean, I just
That
knocked
was
them off
fun.
the. I just knocked them off the bridge. Okay.
Just as
I
was about
distinctly
to have a
remember
money
it being
in my
Krark and Selhene that mounted him on the javelin.
I
Oh, that
think
was-
so.
I think so.
Hashtag hobgoblins aren't people.
I mean...
They attack this town out of hand. They put innocent lives in danger. we only stopped them destroying another watchtower and potentially leaving this town open to the orcs or worse out there because we were actually waiting for them.
And what would you have done in their place?
I would have done that.
Fought back.
Paladin.
You saw me take down Kagrota 1 versus 1.
And
Okay.
very few have your
Imagine
strength,
you
my
were
friend.
them, in their position, their skill set. What would you have
Not
done?
yours.
Ambush, traps, stand behind the door and stab the goblins as they walk in.
When your mind was already clouded by your father's teachings?
They're like bloodshed. I don't see why they didn't employ it on the orcs.
Because they were overwhelmed. They could not have...
I do believe, actually, that we are arguing our case to the wrong person. Krark,
Krark,
my friend.
You're executioner, you're not judge and jury.
No.
We shall see.
If I may point out, Tove, the one that we are willing to show no mercy to,
Oh, yes, most definitely.
as he was the mind, shall we say, and the one in charge, shall we say. In his situation, I imagine he probably could have upped and ran. I believe they had nothing left aside from a home to live in. They could have probably traveled the road and used their skill set elsewhere. Correct. Even if they weren't taking back their house, they could still have run. The more submissive one, I think, was more akin to being indoctrinated, following their brother's whims, as that is apparently what family do for each other.
Family sticks together.
This is why we're thinking of sparing the younger one, as in given a different circumstance, he might have chosen differently. The older one, he willingly chose to work with the orcs just so he could continue his practices. Whilst, yeah, he didn't really have much of a choice in fending for himself, because their skill set, I will agree, was not great at being able to take back their house from the orcs. Not even an ambush of traps those two could have even taken the orc alone. But that is why we say, the older one, no mercy. We let the gods decide his fate once he passes on. The younger one might be of some use. He's still...
Malleable.
Yes.
Just following orders is how armies and innocents die. That is not a defense I'm willing to accept. And also, it's been, what, a day? Have you already forgotten Wallace? The fact they kidnapped him and probably would have killed him if they hadn't had to run away from us.
My point still stands of the mastermind is the one at fault. Is the only thing I'm fending for. And also, that statement before sounded almost personal.
If a master tells his slave to murder, it is not the property's fault, but the master's hand.
And yet, every single time, the slave is the one hung for it. I don't see why this should be any different.
Well, they should be different.
Be
The
the
slave
judge.
should not have been a slave in the first place. But it was.
All right.
It did not. The slave did not decide its fate. It was merely stuck with it.
Once again, we
Now
are
I think it's
arguing
time
to the
we
wrong...
kill the master, and not the slave.
We are arguing to the wrong audience. Let's get this farce of a trial on with. Krark, you are more than welcome to join the prosecution. Excuse me.
I mean, it's going to be a persecution, let's be honest.
It really is. It definitely sounds personal.
Oh. Alright. So, back to the morning of the trial.
Yes.
Uh, Gundolin and Ragnar have brought the prisoners in front of the assembled village and presented the charges. And you can hear some cries of outrage from the crowd. You notice some of the people that have been freed by you from the cages that are there also. And anyone who wants to speak for or against the brothers may, but for not more than 5 minutes.
Who would like to go first?
Rock, paper, scissors?
I'm
I want
happy
to
to.
speak last.
Maybe Mirror?
Well.
Yeah, you get the least amount of time.
Yeah, I'm actually just about to be walking in. But okay. Let me park. Okay. I will stand up and get in front. Stand out in front of the crowd assembled, and look to them and say, "All right. I know what you all may be thinking. These two are right bastards. They've done terrible things. And some of you may have been more directly affected than others. I know what you say. I know what you're all thinking. Who would bother to even show a shred of mercy to these who never showed any mercy to any of us? And I say, in other circumstances, you may be right. But know this. We are all here. Everyone is given a life for a reason. Some have their lives taken, either through death but some do not get the release of death. Some are forced into circumstances that they do not deserve to be in. I know some of you who may be thinking, oh, well, still, they did terrible things. Who cares if they were never given any choice otherwise? I understand. It is under my understanding that these two boys were, at the very least, forced into their circumstances. It was follow orders or die. Sure, they might have ran, but who's to say they would have gotten far before being cut down? I know that if I were planning an assault on this town, and two decided to run, I would have them killed before they could warn anyone. And that is exactly what would have happened. And even before then, their right bastard of a father took their very chance to live a good life, a normal life, where they could have lived here with you all who rejected them. We are here. It is under my understanding that everyone deserves a chance to live their life properly, and as such, that is why they deserve a defense. But if you must have someone, then let you take one. Let the other make up for his sins. It shall be. Well, I myself am biased on the issue. I recognize that. But still, at least let one of them live their life and have a chance to become something more than the right bastard you think him to be. At which point I will step back.
Okay. Do you have any dice around you?
I do have a dice roller app.
Alright, can you roll me a persuasion check?
Okay.
If you know your persuasion off the bat.
I do.
Okay, good.
Alright. 18. Plus 5, that's 23.
Plus 5, that's enough. Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna be walking in now.
Okay.
Hey.
It's just post a message in the Skype on whether or not they live or not.
Okay.
We will.
All right.
Good go.
All right.
Does
Does the attitude of the crowd change after that?
Some of it. Some less.
Do I have to roll insight or something to figure out what way they're swaying?
Well, most of the crowd seems still to be against them, but some are maybe hesitating a little bit. Anyone else wants to speak?
Remiel, do you wish to put anything forward?
Not at this moment. I don't really have much to say that hasn't already been said or hasn't already been discussed, and I recognize that. And I notice that even though I don't have the best wisdom, my feelings are fairly similar to what the group's decision was, that the older brother is not worthy of life, even after our discussion with him, but that the younger brother perhaps there's still a chance that he could be, if not saved, at least made to pay for his sins in a way that benefits the whole.
Do you want to go before or after me, Selhene?
I don't have a preference. After, actually.
Then
I'll make closing arguments.
I shall be the next to...
Actually, I'm pretty sure Krark wants to have the closing argument.
Okay, we'll have the closing defense argument. Prosecution can have their closing defense.
I step forward. My compatriot gave the emotional reason why one should live and one should die. I'm gonna bring forward now the objective arguments that have been brought forward. I bring out my book and come to the point. We have one charge of confirmed murder down at the watchtower below, and after investigation, being magically inclined myself, I discovered that our ghost that was the cause of this mist was none other than a simple spell, and I conjured Mage Hand to create the blue ghostly thing. This was conjured by the only magically inclined brother, Tove, as he is the only one with the prowess to do such a thing. And this is our ghost that was found handling the crowbar, which I can confirm was what had happened. Now, whether they intended to murder or not is besides the point in this fact, because I heard that Tove himself had shown no remorse for anything that had happened, as all he cared about was sacrifices to his god. Which I end up saying the name to.
But you can't remember right now.
Yep.
Cyric, I think.
Eric. Now, I have no evidence or reason to believe that someone sane and malleable as Gunther would ever come along to this if it wasn't for the fact that Tove encouraged him so often. In this case, I believe that without Tove in the picture, Gunther could technically live a decent, more humane life, if those of the community can be brought forward to assist him. And of course, he does serve his time, but not with death, but in being brought into the community and working his sentence off, even if it's to the day he dies. But still, then he has a life free from the evils of having to go to human sacrifice. The accounts of arson can also be chalked up to, again, the mastermind of it all, Tove, encouraging his brother to do what he says. As all of you that do have brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, daughters, and sons would perhaps maybe do everything in your power if they wished for that of you. So, I bring to you why I believe Tove is guilty, and whilst Gunther is guilty by proxy, I feel there is at least repentance in him, and the ability to reform, and actually be a decent human being. And I take my seat. And diminish Mage Hand, because it's just been floating around there for a little bit.
Make a persuasion check.
Okie dokie. Do. That is finding it. Oh Christ, that was bad. That's a 6. That's rolling a 2. Plus 4, I got a 6. Yay.
Wow.
The
Does he get
crowd-
advantage because the mage hand was helping?
The crowd is kind of looking at you like, okay.
If it was technically with advantage, that's a 7 instead of a 6. I need to be right back a second, but there's my 2-piece.
Alright.
I need to be right back a second. I have to go in the corner and cry right now.
Miya, did we ever figure out what city I am from? I can't remember.
No, but you could be from Waterdeep if you're from the north, or if you want to, because it's the biggest, most shining beacon of civilization in the north, or if you're from more in the east, then
I'm from wherever
really
it's
know.
very warm.
Alright, so you will be more from the east, and I need to do some research. But you can invent
Okay.
the name of a city, and we'll
Okay,
retroactively change it if need be.
Okay, cool, awesome. I'm gonna say just from Califast because that's where Selhene is in the Pathfinder game, and that's a name I know.
Okay.
Or no, Ballard. There we go. Anyway. Alright.
Go.
I'm going to stand up, cross my arms behind my back, and just look over the crowd for a few seconds. My name is Selhene Nepavora. I'm from Ballard. I'm of noble blood, and believe me when I say that the taking of a life, any life, is a matter that must be addressed with much consideration. You have before you 2 potential perpetrators, 2 potential victims. It depends on how you look at it. From the day they were born, their father was the main controlling influence in their life. Their mother was sacrificed to his god. That is not the way to start a family. They never really had a chance to come into their own under such a strong figure. And this town did not do much to help mitigate that. The charge of treason is before them. I make the argument that it is impossible to treason against a community you were never a part of. I hold out a hand to Gunther. How many times have you seen this man? Do any of you know? I'm actually waiting to see if anybody calls out anything.
They're kind of just waiting, and since you seem to stop, someone says, maybe once or twice a month.
Correction. You've seen him twice. This other man, and I gestured at Tove, you have indeed seen once or twice a month. However, none of you knew that he was one of 2, that he was a twin. None of you knew that his father slew his mother in a human sacrifice to a god of great evil and malice. Now let's move on to the death of the guard. This one here, and I again gesture to Gunther, sabotaged the tower, it is true. However, his brother, again previously argued, was the one that caused the collapse. Mischief, when it results in a death, is still mischief, maybe malicious, but not murder. On to... Yes, indeed. The arson, again, malicious, but still mischief. They have both admitted to me that the theft of supplies and the sabotage of property were instigated in order to get the town to distrust each member in it, to be hostile towards each other. Instead, they split the town into two factions, and each faction was solely concerned with the health of the town. So I see no true social term for like hostilities or malice. If you wish to charge them for anything, yes, the theft of supplies, yes, the property damage, but also consider their home had been invaded by an orc brigade so fierce that it eliminated many of the homesteads in the surrounding area to such a point that you yourselves were building fortifications against them. If such an orc had set up shop here, if perhaps, say, a cult of dragon worshippers had set up shop here, would you have capitulated to them in order to keep your hide? And yeah, I'm going to leave it there and then step back and sit down.
Roll me a persuasion check, please.
I know
Good
the
luck.
feeling.
Oh! 21.
Nice.
The only reason that wasn't worse is because I got a natural 19.
Nice.
Selena's not charismatic.
Alright.
Dark Stem?
Yep.
Oh boy.
As
God.
Selhene sits down, Krark stands up and takes the floor. I've actually got my great axe held in one hand. And
Jury intimidation.
scars obvious on the chest from the fighting. And I'm just going to straight up say, you all know what I've done for this town. You all know that I bloodied myself in your defense at the slightest word that this town was in danger, as anyone who truly cared about the lives of those around them should. We all did. However, these brothers, and I'm pointing at them as I say this, slew their own mother in cold blood. They're accepted into this community rather than being driven away. They're allowed to walk around town, talk to people, trade. They might not have been part of the town, but they certainly weren't outsiders the way that others might have been. And yet look at what they did to those people they kidnapped. In this town I'm pointing at the guys that we rescued. Ask them what they would have done, even at Kugrota's will, or their own perverted desires. Do you really think that they are so innocent, that one could be so innocent when they are both in on it? They had plenty of chance to warn Parnas of exactly what was at their homestead. But even when separated and taken away from one another, they chose to lie, they chose to deceive, they chose to leave and run back to that Ducal back at their home. Where I would like you to be aware they were allowed to live freely and move around as they wished. They put every innocent life here in danger by not being honest. Especially when we came back into town. When we've defended you twice now from threats outside, and we'll do so again until Parnast is safe. They've been twins all their lives. It's time for them to be twins in death. And I sit back down.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh boy.
Roll shitty.
That's a 1!
Yes!
That's a natural one.
No, that's a 2 minus 1.
Okay.
Oh man.
And advantage would not have helped. That would have been a 3.
What is it with our persuasion checks?
I don't know. 2 of you did good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course, the bard was just unreal,
fact
and it's fucking
Yeah.
+5. Jesus Christ.
I don't-
In case anyone wants a text copy of what I said.
You
Give or
typed
take.
it up.
Yep.
Saved it up while you guys were talking.
Yep.
It's a pity you rolled shitty because it was a good speech.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why Krark doesn't talk much.
Yeah.
People don't like the fact he's a half-orc saying this.
Yeah.
This is why I tried to make the point of we've bled for the town.
Well, I'm sorry the dice rolled what the dice rolled.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few other people who talk, some people who relate how one of them, they don't know which one, helped them that one time long ago. Others who explain how their homestead has been completely destroyed. They've lost family members because of orc attacks. You see some of the militiamen that say that they trusted Tove, that he was supposed to be helping them, and apparently he gave them no leads when he knew exactly where the enemy was. And after everyone has talked, you have Ragnar, who asks the people who... They're going to go one brother at a time. The people who wish to see Tove hanged or beheaded or whatever. I think Krark wants them to be beheaded.
Maybe.
So the people who want to see Tove put to death go on one side, and the people who want him to serve his, because their guilt is not like really in question. We know that they've done bad things.
They're not walking away from it, basically.
Yeah, the people who want them to who want him to live and work out some other way of punishment go to another side, and people start moving, and an awful lot of, like, most of the town goes to the side of they want to see him die.
This is Tove, right?
Yes, this is Tove.
Is Tove bound, by the way?
Yes. He's just
Can I-
looking at the crowd.
Is he, like, in any shape of, like, a rag in his mouth, or any way that he can't talk?
No.
I'm gonna go do that, because I just realised he's a magic user. I don't trust the fact he can talk to cast any form of spells that just requires his mouth.
Okay.
You probably actually would have done that before the trial.
Yeah, I would have probably known that.
All right. Then he would have his a gag in his mouth. Then the townspeople go back to forming one crowd, and Gwendolyn steps forward and asks those who wish to see Gother executed go to one side, those who want to see him spared go to the other side. And
The dice
for a
will be rolling.
moment, it's really hard to tell which side has the most people, and it ends up having they end up having to count the people to really know that maybe a few more people were of the opinion to spare him.
I'll be in
But
the spare
it
crowd,
was
and I'll have
very
I'll have
close.
I'll have my hand up, and I'll have mage hand, another hand next to me.
I don't think we get a vote.
Oh,
I think
never
it's
mind.
just community members.
I was going to say, I was very openly making the point of not being in this vote. I was staying to the side.
I probably would be as well, to be fair, but it would be a funny thing to do. Extra hand.
So congratulations, Gother gets to live. For those who wanted that to happen.
It was close.
Excellent.
And the town starts to talk about how if someone can type that in the Skype, well, I'm gonna type that in the Skype thing for Mirror.
Okay. Right.
Don't get me wrong, he's still like up shit creek
Yeah.
with that.
Alright.
But he doesn't die.
He doesn't die. The town starts to Gundolin and Ragnar start to put forward ways that Gothard will serve his punishment and for how long and all that. When suddenly you can hear the clappity clap of sounds a bit like a horse, but not quite like a horse, coming very fast towards the town, and
Whereabouts? What direction is it coming from?
he is coming from the north.
Okay. I'm immediately going to position myself in the way of whatever is coming.
All right, and you see coming from behind the building through the main road, a young boy of maybe 11, 12 years old. He is on top of a galloping mule that looks absolutely exhausted. And he stops when he sees the crowd, and when the mule stops, it's like kind of trembling on its legs.
Hooves.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I see him and can realise who's riding the mule, I call over Selhene and Remiel.
Pretty
Not
much
Armenos.
everyone is turned towards him.
Right.
And,
I go over.
Me, I was looking
Yes,
at Gunther.
and I will go over as well.
and
Whoops.
he calls out, "Please, please, my family's being attacked."
I roll my eyes.
Where? How far? By what?
Monsters, hobgoblins, I think. I
I'm
don't
going
know.
to.
It was a while. It's by the Chelimber March, and you guys have traveled the region enough to know that on foot, the main road passes next to a marsh, and that's maybe an hour of travel on foot at a normal pace.
Okay. For a donkey, like quarter of an hour at full run.
At full run, maybe 20 minutes. It's not really.
Cool.
You're not really sure. And he says,
I'm going.
"Please, please, somebody."
I'm going to go to whomever, and I can't remember names right now. Character sheets, damn it. I'm gonna go over to whomever had the horses and request to borrow one.
Just one?
Well, I mean, You guys are making move to come?
Yeah, I'll have rolled my eyes, done the thing that I whispered to you, Miya, and then head over, followed you.
You whispered a thing to me?
Yeah, on roll
Sorry.
20.
You don't appear to be in the game on Roll20, Mia.
Oh, when I refreshed, it put me in the wrong game because I jumped onto Ballor's game preparation thing. Roll 20. Why?
I basically a while back before the as the Who's were being heard, but before we knew who it was, I just said I want to communicate to Gunther telepathy-wise and just say, you get a second chance at life. Be sure to make the most of it and don't fuck it up.
Okay.
You got that.
Yeah.
Names, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Too many vowels.
And as the guy is, and as Selhene moves to go get horses for all of us,
Sure.
I want to say to the guy on the donkey, did you hear any names? Did you hear anything about Bad Fool or anything, or was it just an attacking silence?
No, they came out of nowhere. Mum put me on the donkey and told me to go get help. You managed to find 3 horses altogether in the town that are able to carry people. There are a few more horses that look very famished and that you would not trust to carry anyone at the moment.
That's okay. I think I have proficiency in writing. Where are my proficiencies listed?
Riding is not a skill in 5
Or
years.
no, land.
Grow vehicles, land.
Survival?
Yeah,
Land vehicles?
yeah.
Yep,
don't
I
it
have
on here.
proficiency in land vehicles.
Oh, awesome.
I do not.
Neither do I.
Anyway, I figured that myself and Remiel or Armenos can double up on a horse.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that.
Yes. Oh, yes. That sounds like a plan because I don't think I can run all the way over there.
I don't like running.
And I will. Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
obviously,
double
I'm
up
going
and
to get
then.
onto one.
Yep.
And almost immediately, like, Krark hops straight on, is already starting to ride out of town. I'm not sticking around.
Ditto.
All right.
I'll just jump on
Whichever's
whichever
behind
was
me.
closest.
All right. So you guys ride out of town. I don't know what you're going to be doing with the horses by the end of this, but whatever.
Could I
I
have
had
also
not
said-
planned on that.
It's
Bad on me.
there's going to be a moment where one of us yells, "No, Krark, no, don't eat it."
All right.
Hey, I might be a barbarian, but I'm not a cannibal.
You're a horse?
Well, most humans tend to treat orcs as animals, and I'm half
He's an orc-sized horse, or is he a horse-sized orc?
Which would be scarier there?
I don't know.
Orcs are not small.
Which is scarier? A butterfly-sized dragon or a dragon-sized butterfly?
The latter.
Dragon every
Yeah,
time.
the ladder, definitely.
The ladder,
bottom
yeah.
ladder, really cute.
Butterfly
A
sized
butterfly-sized
dragon.
dragon.
It's so cute.
Butterfly-sized dragon is like Mia's like, oh,
They
no
can
one
still
knows.
singe your beard.
I
Other
want
way
one.
around, it's like,
dragon.
nobody
I
wants
want
one.
one.
I
I need
have
to
also
use
told-
fairy dragons at some point in something. I don't know why, how, I don't know where, but I just love them.
Okay.
I
So,
also
Anyways.
have warned, I've forgotten the name, the 2 heads of the village.
Ragnar and Gunther.
Yeah,
Ragnar
I'll,
and Gundolin.
yeah,
Gundolin.
I'll restate. Tove can use magic. Be careful of him. Don't let him out of your sight. Probably don't let the other one out of your sight either. But do what you want with them. We're gonna go take care of this. Bye.
Alright.
I wanted to execute Tove, but oh well.
I know you did, but
Technically.
Very
shit
bloody.
happens.
Very bloody.
But I will take saving someone from hobgoblins over executing a murderer, since I don't get to kill the both of them.
Well, think about it like this: instead of getting to kill one thing, You get to kill a bunch of things.
Yay for multiple
It-
violences!
It's not about how many things I kill, it's about how many lives are saved in the process.
You also get to save more lives doing this, so.
Wait, are you a paladin?
No. But
You're
just a
allowed to be a
moral
good
barbarian.
person. People are.
But-
You know, people are allowed to play good people.
Miya,
So
do you remember the flaws and ideals that
The what?
maybe not the ideals? Do you remember the bonds and flaws that I had on Krark's character sheet?
No,
I will copy
I'm
and
sorry.
paste my flaw to you in private, just so you know where this is coming from.
Okay. Meanwhile, I suggest that we take a small break while you guys gallop to there, because A, I need to pee, B, I need food. So-
Loading screens!
Loading
Yeah.
screens!
Yes.
Fair enough.
I'll be back.